Hey y'all, hi. Wow. It's one of those Monday mornings and I am here with nothing but eyebrows on, which is kind of a weird look, but didn't want to waste everyone's time putting the brows on camera, and everything else I will be able to accomplish by trying new makeup, something I haven't done for a really long time. It's a bunch of random stuff and I'm just going to mess around. If you happen to be new here watching my channel, then welcome. My name is Hannah. I am a writer. I will link my book below. I also make YouTube videos about beauty, aesthetics, consumerism. Part of that is reviewing makeup, trying new makeup, etc. And you know what? Subscribe, don't subscribe, whatever you want. I don't care, as long as you are registered to vote. Let's go ahead and get into the meat of the video. So we just moved. We moved a month ago, it's just for us because there are a lot of other factors. We have a lot of work to do on the house and we also have a little baby. So it's just the settling in process is slow. So some of these things were boxed up. I had a moment where I had packed up a box to move towards the end of the packing process and labeled the box PR that I still need to photograph. And then I was just like, my life. It's like moving unopened PR from one house to the other. And so some of that is this. Some of this is that. I've been unpacking slowly the studio, setting it up slowly. And I've come across things that I would like to mess around with on camera a little bit. I'm also feeling a little bit, how shall we say, a little bit more adventurous with makeup, or wanting to be a little bit more adventurous with makeup than I have been in very recent months. Starting to come back online a little bit, you know? And so some of this is colorful. And here's the thing. Lately, when I've been trying new makeup, I have still just not wanted to end up with too much makeup on my face at the end. I've been like, we're trying new makeup, but we're trying to keep it simple. We're trying to keep it clean. We're trying to keep it so I can just go about the rest of my day normally. I'm not going to do that today. I'm going to try to put all the makeup on my face. It doesn't need to end up a good look, right? This is going to be a testing ground. And actually, I'll start with the first thing as I explain to you what's happening. Look at this. Bobbi Brown. This is such an old school product. Bobbi Brown Vitamin Enriched Face Base, something I've always wanted to try, and this little jar of it came in PR. So I'm putting this on. I particularly need it because after extolling the virtues of removing one's facial hair oneself at home in that video about 5 reasons why you can't get your everyday makeup to look good, that very evening, y'all, I went to use these wax strips that I actually really love. Right, I'm going to put this on while I tell you. Oh, it's nice. The Billie waxing strips. They're by that company Billie that makes razors, which I think was a direct-to-consumer brand for a while, but now they sell on Amazon. So I got these wax strips for waxing the upper lip, and they're amazing. They work better than any at-home waxing strips I've ever tried. It comes in a kit with little ones that you can use for upper lip or between the brows or under the brows if you want, but then bigger ones that you can use on your body, but I've been using them actually for peach fuzz on the sides of my face. For some reason, because I've used them with no issue many times, for some reason this time, I think I got overzealous because there were a bunch of little tiny hairs that were probably too short to wax, but I tried to get them anyway. And so I kept going back over and over my lip and I removed too much of my upper lip, including some skin. And I just disrupted the skin barrier there. So that's why I have this irritated skin around my lip. And I've been babying it as best I can. This stuff is awesome. I just want to keep putting it on and keep putting it on. We'll see how makeup goes over it, especially now after I've put on 5 times as much as you're supposed to. But I just can't stop. Why am I going like this? I never do this. It's because it makes me feel like I'm at the spa. And so I'm pretending to be my own esthetician. Okay. Wow, it's nice because I do feel like I put on a lot, but it really is sinking into the skin. It's not staying on the surface and making my face slimy or making it feel like it wouldn't take makeup very well. It's definitely a priming face base. I think that's why it's called face base. Look at me. I brought up some washcloths finally. She's getting it together. I remembered to bring washcloths instead of just using tissues. I have my micellar water here. I have my washcloths here to do tasks like wiping the condensation off of my water glass. Okay, let's continue on with complexion. I have this Rituel de Fille product, of which I'm extremely leery because I did swatch it on the back of my hand at some point during the move, and I felt as though it was just very glittery, which Rituel de Fille, it is kind of like witchy, magical festival makeup, you know? I mean, some of the products are really beautiful, high-performing, could work for every day, especially like the lipsticks and the cream pots of lip and cheek kind of things. It's not all just floofy, fun festival festival makeup, but the vibe is very touched by the wand of a fairy. You know what I mean? And so they don't hold back from including shimmery particles, glittery particles, stuff like that. So I think it is the way it is, however it is, we're about to find out, on purpose. But I don't know if it's going to be the kind of thing. I like a really wet look, kind of glass skin shine on the cheeks these days. And this might be not quite exactly that. We'll see though. So this is in the shade Glowing Creature. What did I tell you? Glowing Creature Luminous Champagne. It comes in 4 shades. And I've already given some of them away. I think this is definitely the one that's going to work best for me of all of them. It's actually not as glittery as it. Maybe it was the light that I was swatching it in that one time. Let's put it on and see. Actually, it's more highlighty than the very clear, sheer wet look shine of something like Auric Glow Lust, the Ilia stick, the one that I've been really liking lately. It's more highlighty than that. A little bit more to me of a throwback, like 2016, 17, 18, that kind of liquid highlighter where if you build it up too much, it might start to look a little bit metallic. Becca liquid highlighter vibes, you know, but an updated, more refined, it feels version of that. But it's not giving me glitter. I don't know why I thought that. And yes, I just went straight in with it on top of skincare because that's what I like to do with this kind of thing, but it actually is marketed as radiant underpaint for glowing skin. So it is like a complexion perfecting glowing thing. I'm going to put it all over my face. That's just what I'm going to do. Just try to stop me. And now I'm going to use my micellar water on a washcloth to wipe off my hands. Feeling so functional, coming in strong on a Monday morning. So it's interesting. I think as an underpaint all over the face type of thing, it's kind of Charlotte Tilbury vibes or Glow Lust vibes, but the 4 shades, there's this shade, there's a beautiful rich brown shade, and then there are 2 sort of colorful shades. So there's one that's like an opalescent, pale, moonlight shifting greeny blue kind of thing, and then there's one that's sort of like a rose, ruddy, flower pink shifting one. So it is kind of like the Festival Magic indie fairy makeup version of that type of thing. And pretty well performing, and it's unscented, which is great. Rituel de Fille for a long time was putting like so much lavender scent in all of their products, and I like that scent, but it was quite a lot, and I know that it doesn't work for everyone. So it's good to know that this departs from that. And it's got a bunch of skincare in it. Wow, I was really expecting to be like, it's super glittery, it's not for me, but instead, this is the kind of thing that I really like. And look what I have to put on top of it. This just came in the mail. I actually bought this. This wasn't PR. It was supposed to be. I had to stay home from the Creators and Friends trip to New Orleans this year, even though I had planned to go. Salt New York was one of the sponsors. Simbri did forward some of the PR from that trip to me, and for some reason, some of it didn't make it, and the Salt New York stuff didn't make it, but I could not try the concealer. Look how gray it is. Kiki, you really did it. You really did it. This seems to me like the grayest, the most truly neutral, like actually the color of my skin, pale makeup product I've ever seen. Like this looks better than the Rose Ink Concealer for a shade match for me. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to put this on my face. And these new little, cute. So one of the things, I love Salt New York makeup. I love it. I just feel like it's some of the most wonderful makeup on the market. It's just so great and so thoughtfully designed. And I struggled to actively use my Salt New York makeup as much as my love of it would indicate, because it's all individual compacts like this that are magnetic. And until now, the only way to store them was in larger palettes. And I tend to reach for individual things, you know, so I tend to kind of carry my makeup around in like a little bag like this and just dig through it and use what's in there to do my makeup. And so even if I had that and then had like a Salt New York palette with it, in practice, I would be less inclined to like unzip the palette and use all of the things. So this is small enough and sturdy enough for me to just throw it in my makeup bag. I feel like I'm actually going to be using this more than I've ever used any Salt New York product before. Oh, and it has a mirror. That's very nice. This is very nice. Really, really exciting. I have a code with them too. I would Salt New York discount code, which of course I'll put in the description box. I'm gonna get this on my face. Okay, I'm going to start with this little Rephr brush, and I'm going to start like on a small surface area so that I can really see what it's doing. Okay, it's on this half of my face. A thin layer is on this half of my face, and I have on a very, very glowy layer of underpainting underneath, right? So it is an emollient product that stays more emollient than, for example, the new Refi concealers, which really have like a chemical change and set down and become absolutely dry. This can't do that because it is a cream product that's set in a pan. So if it was going to dry down completely when it was exposed to air, it would be dried out in the pan. So it's always going to stay a little bit more emollient than that. It remains to be seen how emollient. My experience with the other Salt New York products is that they do kind of set and become one with the skin and become non-greasy and non-transferring really over the course of the day. I bet that this will do that, but you know, it remains to be seen. However, the intense shine, the like super glow that you're seeing is mostly from the underpainting product. But you can see that the color is amazing. The coverage is really good. I put it only on this half of my face, but then I brought it across my upper lip to try to cover that like scabbing and irritation, and it totally covered it right up. The Salt New York Skin Tint, previously their only complexion product, is one of my favorite complexion products because it's so undetectable as makeup. You can look right up close to your skin with a magnifying glass with that product on your skin, and you can't see the makeup with the naked eye. It just looks like skin. And what I've always wished for is something like that from Salt New York, but with more pigment, like more pigment per milligram. And I think that that's exactly what this is. And I prefer that because I like to be able to more easily build up the pigment to cover redness and stuff like that. And then I can always shear it out if I want there to be less of it somewhere on my skin. So I have high hopes for this. It's very promising. I'm going to go ahead and put it on the other half of my face, get it caught up. The color is spectacular. It basically is my skin in a pan. I hope you can see how incredibly neutral that is. And I think that my main question, the one thing that remains to be seen about this, is how emollient it's going to stay. Because with the other products that I have on my face today, the Bobbi Brown with all of those layers of that, the Rituel de Fille really shiny under layer, it's hard to tell by looking. It's even, I don't know if I can even totally tell by feeling. And I do feel like I need to powder a little bit, mostly because of how shiny it looks. It doesn't feel like it's staying damp all over my face, but you know, it's just a little bit too much. Oh, I forgot I was trying new makeup and I just dug my NARS powder out. I don't think I have a powder here though. Okay, from the way the brush is applying powder, it feels like the concealer is a little bit heavy on my face. I think for the Salt New York product, it's going to be either best applied with a bigger brush and really sheared out all over my face and almost used as a skin tint, and then maybe a little bit to spot conceal, or best paired with the actual Salt New York skin tint in a thinner layer all over my face, and then the concealer really just used to conceal, like to spot conceal. I'm used to using concealer all over my face, just shearing it out and kind of manipulating it and getting it to do what I want. And I think that in this case, using that tiny brush to apply the concealer all over my face, I think it was a little bit too much. And I think I ended up with a little bit more makeup per square inch on my face than I usually like to have. But I'll keep messing with it. I'll learn more and I'll report back. Okay, what else do we have here? We have an eyeshadow palette. I know. This is from Unearthly Cosmetics. It was PR a while back. This is one of those things that got packed and moved. It's so pretty. When I was scraping together products for this video and I came across this and I opened it and looked at it, I was like, I actually want to like use it. I was like, I want to do an eye look. I mean, I say that, but my eye goes directly to this shade, Grimoire. Wow, it's actually more of a multi-chrome than I thought. It's the neutral, right? It's the neutral of the palette, but it's really got a lot going for it. So look at these others. Sunshine. These are really nice. They have that feeling that's like a slightly flaky but finely milled powder. I know that those two terms seem to counteract each other, but that is how it is. The powders feel really finely milled and packed, and how finely milled they are is part of what's making it so creamy and shiny. But there's this satisfying flake. There's like a tooth. There's tooth. The powders have toothiness. At least these metallics do. Let's swatch a matte. Yeah, and that feels very creamy. Natasha Denona vibes. Wow, really pretty. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Never have I been more grateful to have a washcloth. Okay, I still have some of these Refer eye brushes, but I'm going to start with my finger and I'm going to use Grimoire and I'm so excited. Okay, I'm going to use this largish, hefty, dense feeling eye brush. It's the 15 and blend that out. I really like it. I really, really like it. It looks wet and it's smoky and it's neutral, but it's got a little something something, which is, you know, my entire aesthetic right now. This little tiny pencil brush, the Refer 23, I'm using the same eyeshadow on my lower lash line. I know, who am I? Not makeup on the lower lash line. Okay, I feel that this is so enchanting and I just want to leave it here. And this also feels really wearable to me. I know I didn't really do the most, but I will soon. Okay, I'm going to come back and do some more. That's more than this, but I just can't. I can't do more than this right now because I love the way that this looks so much. And it's like slept in your makeup vibes, which I already kind of had because I took a bath last night instead of a shower and I didn't do the best job of cleaning my eye makeup on. I just had mascara on, but all I did in the bath was watch Boss Baby on my laptop. And I didn't like cleanse myself, I just laid there. So I did clean my face. I did wash my face. I just didn't do it in a very detail-oriented way. And then I put on a mask, actually a face mask, because a sheet mask, because I was trying to help rehabilitate my skin. I just laid there with the sheet mask on. And when I woke up this morning and looked in the mirror, I had that like smudgy, you might have seen it actually at the beginning of the video, very faint grayish black smudge around underneath the eyes. That was just a little bit of residual mascara that had bled down there when I was desultorily washing my eyelashes and watching Boss Baby. And then, it kind of set in overnight. And I saw it and I was like, hello, old friend. Like, I kind of miss that look that you were wearing a lot of makeup the day before, the night before you had a late night and you didn't, I had a late night watching Boss Baby in the bath, but like you had a late night dancing tango. That's what it used to be for me. Like really living my best life dancing. And then I would get home and of course wash my face, but maybe not do as thorough a job as I otherwise would. And then wake up in the morning and it's kind of that morning after look of like the slightly sooty, smudged eye. So I feel like it's sensual. It's like a sexy look. And I feel like this is the makeup version of that. This is what I've been trying to say this whole time. This is the makeup version of that because it's not too super richly punch you in the face pigmented. It's not quite the smudged it in with a sooty thumb, full on sooty eye makeup that I have talked about so much in the past and really appreciate. It's not quite that because of how sheer and glossy it is. It's like a slightly different take on that. Anyway, I love it. But I'm going to try a mascara. Why is this brow always so much higher than the other brow? Like just noticing it right now. Iris&Romeo sent me two things in PR. Weekend Skin, which is their very famous SPF 50 tinted sunscreen. I swatched it and it's like, I think the color is not going to work for me. Yeah, the color isn't going to work. Even if I were to sheer it way out. Well, this is the hand that it's on. Gosh, but could I bring myself to put something that starts as that color on my face? It's hard to tell. No, it's definitely put like a slight healthy glow of tan over my face. It would over my hand, but it would have put it over my face if it put it on my face. And for me, that just doesn't look right. It makes me look sick. So it's close, but not quite. I would need a version of this that's not tinted at all, or that has a very, very, very pale greenish gray cast instead of this basically orange tan pigment that they've mixed into it. I can tell though, just from swatching it on the back of my hand, why it is such a cult favorite product and why it's so famous. I strongly wish that it would work for me because it feels amazing. Maybe someday they'll branch out. But they also sent a new product available at Sephora, the Lash Up Peptide Thickening Mascara. Ooh, this is very luxe. You can't tell by looking. I think visually it might look like it's plastic, but it's glass and it's really heavy and it's so nice. It's got one of these curved, it's got like a pointed but slightly curved. The wand it's trying to do everything. It's trying to give us everything that a mascara wand can give. A pointy part for control, a barrel shaped bristle brush, but also a curve. Sometimes you try to give us everything and then you end up giving us nothing. This just looks like engineered within an inch of its life. So let's see. I need a mirror. Came across this while I was unpacking. Okay, like this. When I pulled this out, what it has is a very aggressive stopper, like the part of the unit that pulls off excess mascara. So when you pull it out, most mascaras, I think they all do, they have like a squeezy bit at the top that squeezes excess product off so that just the right amount is on the brush. And this, it has like a very aggressive one. Lots of excess product is squeezed off and you end up with kind of a dry brush. I like that. I feel like it is brushing a dry, raspy coat onto my lashes and consequently keeping them nice and fluffy. I'll tell you, one thing it's definitely doing is lifting and curling. It's creating that curl shape, really intensely doing that. I think that the dry quality of it, or the fact that it pulls a lot of product off, that the tube pulls a lot of product off the brush, leaving a very effectively dry brush, is part of why it's able to cause such an intense lift and curl. Because if the mascara was too wet, the wand was too wet and laden with product, it would kind of drag the lashes lashes down. I've never been like a lash curler. I'm not over here curling my lashes. I think that I've always loathed to look like much younger than I am. And I've always been someone who could kind of, especially when I was younger, like when I was 30, I didn't want people thinking I was 24, you know, and when I was 25, I didn't want people thinking that I was 17 or 18. So I've always sort of eschewed the types of beauty products that make you look kind of doll-like. And I feel like curling one's lashes, getting those really curled lashes would always kind of make a doll out of me. So I've never curled my lashes and I've never been obsessed with curling mascaras, but I can kind of see, especially at this stage, I can kind of see the appeal at this stage in my life, you know, and I do see, I mean, it's really like, it is eye-opening. Like the lift effect is eye-opening. I think I also don't have lashes that are too down. They're pretty straight out and lifted. So that's another reason I've never worried about curling them. I'm going to put some on my lower lash line. Look at that eyeshadow. I mean, honestly. Wow, it's so intense on the lower lashes. It's too much. I pinched most of it off my lower lashes. I have really long lower lashes, so I really coat them. It can get clockwork orange real fast. I also noticed when I was up close that I have some fallout. Okay, removing this fallout is not too hard. Salt New York concealer is not giving me trouble. It feels like it has actually kind of dried a little bit, which is amazing. Let's look at what else we have. I'm really making a mess here. All right, what's that? What parts of my face are left? Cheeks, and lips. So for cheeks, I have these Gen C glow sticks. They didn't send me all of the colors. They sent a couple of colors. They don't look that glowy. I've swatched a couple of these, but I didn't do a good job of, oh yeah, now I remember. Okay, I was going to wear them one day. Candlelight and Sunkissed both look too orange for me, and Bloom a little pink for me. But more than that, it's like, I'm curious about what kind of glow they are going for, because it's much subtler of a glow than what we usually see. And I'm kind of into that. Yeah, there you can kind of see it. I like that. It's like a soft, diffused, not wet look, not glass skin, which, you know, I'm really into that super wet look cheek, but I like seeing a brand launch a product that's called Flush Glow, and it's not super hyper reflective. It's just a little bit more like natural looking, you know, like a natural flush to the glow. Unfortunately for me, none of these three colors is really it. So let me look at this other thing that I have, a big PR package, the likes of which I don't usually receive. I actually don't even know when this arrived because it was right in the middle of the move and it just got packed. So this might have launched a long time ago. This is Lawless Soft Blur Cream Blush. That is what I'm going to be putting on my cheeks. Oh, I think it's going to be this. It's going to be this color, Angel. Let's compare it to, this is Rosebud. This is Angel. Maybe I want Gumdrop. And into this PR package, they've also put lip products, and one of them, I'm not totally sure what this is, but it looks like it might be some sort of tinted balm, and my lips are feeling so dry. Oh no, it's like a lipstick. It applies like a lipstick on me, but I bet that this is being marketed as a tinted balm. It's also really not my color, but that's a tint level. It's a little bit tingly, smells like fruit, candy. I kind of like it. Yeah, tinted balm stick. That is a tinted balm stick in Posy. And yeah, I'm gonna go for the cheek. It is one of these like velvety light balm, that melting balm. It is kind of a melting balm. And this is in the shade Angel. I do really like this color, but I want to use a brush. That is a nice neutral. I have to get this lip color off. It's like the one thing that I can't stand on myself is that magenta, you know? Yeah, the cheek, this isn't my favorite cream blush formula. That's what I'll say. Surprisingly, I really loved the lip product. I wish it were a different color. And there are two other colors in the package. There's a bright pink and a bright red. And I think the bright red as like an off red lip balm would work really well for me. I have other lip products I want to try, so I'm not going to put it on right now, but I might kind of put that product in the mix and see how it grows on me over time. I think that those of you who love this type of blush formula, you'll be able to identify it. And those of you who don't, you'll also be able to identify it based on what I'm about to say. It's very slippery. It's very thin. It's like a thin balm. And then as you rub it in, it becomes velvety and then almost powdery and then dry. And that's really a nice quality in a product in terms of how it wears. I feel like it lends itself to subtlety. It lends itself to a kind of natural look, but there's a lot of pigment in this. And you can see that it really did, just the tiniest bit that I put on my cheeks, really did leave behind a blushy look. It blended really well into the products they had underneath it, so we didn't lose any of that shine. I think that for a lot of people, it'll be a super versatile product. I just on a textural level prefer cream cheeks that are really lipsticky and kind of thick and not goopy, but that hold their own a little more, that have body and don't melt at the touch. This is like that truffle melting at the touch type of thing, but it's thinner than, for example, the Phytosurgence ones, which also have that kind of truffly melty quality, but are really nice and satisfying, you know? I think though that this, it's hard to mess it up. Like it's a really effortless formula, really easy to use, whereas some cream blushes, it's like easy to go overboard really quickly. So I think it'll suit a lot of people, and I appreciate having all the colors and like the lip pairings and being able to test them out. I actually kind of want to get into the bright pink. I have gotten along really well with bright pink blushes like this from time to time in my life. There's just something about the way that a tiny bit of it can kind of light up my complexion. But this might actually be the one that I keep from the PR package and keep playing with. Okay, let me show you something. Look at this. What do you think this is? Nope. You were wrong. It's a lipstick. This was PR from a brand called Queen Musia, and it's just hilarious. I know, it is silicone too. I mean, it's got that soft touch. So this color is called Ada. It looks really pretty. I'm not sure it'll go with everything today, but I'm going to try it on. I haven't tested this lipstick yet, and I'm curious about the formula. Wow, that is a lipstick. That is like a serious old school cream lipstick. It even has that classic lipstick smell. I kind of like that. I like how much body it has. I like that it's sort of stiff, but it feels good on my lips, doesn't feel drying, and it has a nice, I don't know, cream matte finish. I mean, it's just really nice. If you are enthralled by this magical little ice cream, whipped cream, mint green, which I kind of am, I'm kind of enthralled by this. If you are enthralled by it as well, just know that it's serious makeup. I mean, that's the thing about like this melting cream blush thing. It just feels a bit lightweight. Like it's sort of like the tissue equivalent of a blush. This is heavyweight lipstick. I mean, it's real lipstick. You can manipulate it to do whatever you want. And I should say, when I was rubbing it in, I definitely ended up incorporating some of the complexion product in. Up close, the combination of products that I have on my skin, it's looking really amazing since some time has passed. It's looking very skin-like on the parts of my skin that are fine. You know, you really can't see the makeup, which is amazing. On the very troubled, rough skin on my upper lip, it's having trouble, but I think any makeup product would. Like any makeup product would be visible over that extremely dry, patchy skin. Anyway, because of there being product on my upper lip there, when I was rubbing in the lipstick, I incorporated some of that color and it changed the color a little bit. It made it a little bit more pale, but it made it work better for my complexion. That is like a full swatch of the color. So you can see the difference. It's really pretty. They sent me another color too, Madame Bovary, but I can tell just by looking at the bullet that that's the kind of straight up pink that I don't like. So rather than swatching it, I'm going to leave it untouched so that I can give it away untouched. I think I remember this color, Madame Bovary, looking like it might be a super pale neutral in the imagery, the product imagery, but then in person it turned out to be quite a middle of the road pink. But this one, Ada, is a beautiful shade. I think that's it. And I'm really out of steam. But yeah, trying to wipe it off. It's pigmented. That's like a good lipstick. It's like, don't try to fool us. You know what I mean? Don't try to sell us a whole bunch of different claims. Just like give us lipstick. Like that's kind of how I feel these days. And that's what this product is doing. So I don't know if I would necessarily pair, final thoughts. That's what we're doing now. Final thoughts. I don't know if I would necessarily pair this lip with this eye. It's not bad, but I probably wouldn't do it these days. It wouldn't be my first choice, especially not with, you know, such a shiny complexion, some color in the cheek. I would scale it back. I would do like this eye with a little bit more neutral lip and cheek, or this lip with less on the eyes or something like that. But individually, the components have been mostly really good. I think on my face, I have too many products layered. I'm curious to know how the Rituel de Fille performs with other types of complexion products. I'm curious to know how the Bobbi Brown face base performs with other types of complexion products on top of it. I think there's just too many layers of product and shine and things that don't necessarily marry super well. And also I just applied a lot. Like I applied a lot of the face base and a lot of the Rituel de Fille glowy stuff. And then I applied a lot of the Salt New York concealer. I think if I had put like 1/4 as much of each of those things on my face as I actually did, because I was overzealous trying to test it, also trying to soothe my dry skin. If I had applied 1/4 of the amount of product of each of those, I think I would have ended up with less, it's not cakey, but it's just like, it's there. You know what I mean? Like it's there. And I'm spoiled spoiled by the amazing complexion products that are on the market right now. The Refi Concealer, the Salt New York Skin Tint, the Farrah Homidi, you know what I mean? Things that I've been testing lately where they're just, the skin looks so fresh, even though there's product there. And my skin doesn't look very fresh right now. That is really the best way that I can explain what those many, many layers of product have done to my complexion. But it's not bad, and you can tell that each product on its own is really lovely. The eye makeup, I love it. It's just bringing my passion back because I feel like, again, with a little bit less everywhere else, this is such a wearable, minimal, actually sultry look and something that I could really get behind like in every day. And I've been needing that. I've been needing something. Not the biggest fan of the Lawless blush, although I do think that these two colors are super pretty, Gumdrop and Angel. And I really did like the Tinted Balm, even though I didn't like the color. I really did like that product. I'm going to look into that because, you know, I'm all about a tinted balm right now. And the Queen Musia lipstick, I think, has a lot of potential. And the Iris&Romeo mascara also, I think, has a lot of potential. What fun. Thank you for being here, hanging out with me while I tried new makeup. I'll be back soon with another makeup video. I think I want to put on like a lot of eye makeup for the first time in a really long time. So I'm going to come back and do that pretty soon. Stay tuned. And don't forget to take extra good care of yourself so that you can be the most effective version of yourself as you do your work in the world.